Anyways.
Since our last pod, we have to talk about something. Jokic won his third MVP in 4 years. You had some comments on Twitter I saw where even though you love Jokic, former teammate, and we think he's one of the best centers, he's going to be at least.
Yeah, I had to puff him up before I brought him. You know what I mean? I had to get him up.
One of the most skilled basketball players at any position that we've ever seen. You think Shai's award to win?
I felt that way. Yeah, I feel it. It just, if you feel it, why does everyone feel that way?
Right.
It's not just me. Everyone like kind of feels this, and everyone's just like, I mean, Nikola did have a great year. He won the MVP. But
is it because he's down 2-0 though?
Are we
right
gonna
now?
look at this a couple years from now and feel like Nash kind of like the moment is happening?
It's not going to be like that because we do think he's the best player in the NBA. So I don't think it's going to be like Nash.
Let's just be clear.
It's not going to be Nash.
Let's just be clear. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Okay. Just let's end it right there. With that being said, he's also, and over the past couple of years, he's just dominated. He's just dominated our game of basketball. So I got no respect for the big fella. I loved playing with him as a teammate. He's an amazing guy. So there's nothing negative here with Nikola. You've done your thing. You keep doing your stuff, bro. This is more so about, if I'm the NBA, bro, I know this isn't what it's about. It's voting. So at the end of the day, it just takes everything out. But it's like, you got a small market team that's young, and they went and got the #1 seed. It can't be about record because they got that. They got #1. So now what does it have to be about? Is it the eye test? Well, we know whose game we like watching. Come on now. Shai's must-see TV. Like, he's probably top 5 most wanted to be like watched.
That one for me, I'm conflicted. I think there's some people that just really love watching Jokic play too. He's the way he looks and what he's doing out there in the passing.
Bro, no. It's not this. No.
Okay,
it's not comparable.
Totally.
No, I'm saying some people like watching Jokic, but it's not like comparable to the level. Like, it's like 50-50. Who you watching tonight, Nikola or Shai?
I think Shai does stuff that hoopers really appreciate that maybe the average fan doesn't understand how hard it is that he does. You know what I mean?
But I think everybody can sit there and look at that man do a snatch back and see someone just snatch and be like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he does it every game. He's incredible. But you're right. He does do stuff that hoopers are like, fuck, that's tough. This guy's so skilled. Regardless of which, from the eye test, it's there. Fashion, the whole brand. He does embrace basketball more. Everything's there.
The way the teammates go behind every interview and they all do it together. Yeah. 100%.
They're young. You got this young team.
You didn't expect it.
No one expected it. Very, very small market. Very small market. Like, bro, everything is there. And then, bro, look at the stuff we're naming that he has on him, right? So now it comes down to, okay, well, let's get to it. Stats. They're not that far off, man. Like, for what he lacks in Jokic,
they both have MVP caliber stats, so we can say that.
Yeah, and Shai's averaging much more points than him.
Yeah.
How much points is Shai averaging?
I believe, so Luka is 3 points ahead of him. So I would say Shai has 31.
So he's averaging 31, and then on top of that, not only is he averaging 31, he also is averaging like what, 6-7 rebounds, 6-7 assists, something around there, and then it's like top in steals. Bro, it's there again, and he has a young team at the #1 spot in the West,
right,
bro? Like, there's just.
Can I ask you a question?
Like,
do you feel this way?
Yes.
Does it hurt because Nuggets are down 0-2, and when they announced the award the Mavericks and OKC are 1-1.
It doesn't help, but it's not but it's a regular season award. People have to understand that. I've always hated that, but you can't do it till after the season because no one cares. Remember they used to give the MVP after the season?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, who gives a fuck now? Season's over.
Yeah.
You used to have like the NBA awards, and people were just like,
yeah.
There's something to you holding that trophy in front of the crowd and everybody getting
You like that Adam Silver tries to do things, though. The NBA awards, even though it didn't really work or stick, it's cool that he tries different things. He's definitely ahead.
You can't miss until
very innovative.
Yeah. You can't.
With that being said, that's a good segue. We can talk about Oklahoma City. They just lost to the Dallas Mavericks 119-110.
Yeah.
Looks like it's going to be a series.
They went there and stole it. PJ Washington's definitely the story with the obvious of obviously Luka playing like Luka. I guess that's the story for real. Luka's been taking a lot of harsh criticism in this playoffs. He hasn't been himself every game. He still had really good games, but he's had a variety of games where, he's struggled from the field, been inefficient, and hasn't played his best basketball. And to add a little bit more drama to it, he's going against a guard that right now is like debating him for who's best guard in the league. There is a 2-man race right now in the NBA, and I'll put 3 men in there. No bullshit, just because that little dude over there in New York is fucking crushing right now.
So you were talking about Shai and Luka, and they're battling it out right now. And people don't realize this series, even though the other Western Conference series seems like the 2 better teams, this series is actually showing two of the best guards in the NBA kind of really going at it.
Yeah, no, this is what you want, man. Listen, the conversation all year long, like I just alluded to a little bit, like who's the best point guard in the league? All right, first off, I know we do this thing where like we see Giddey and Kyrie play with Luka, and we see them play with Shai, and because those guys are such good scorers, they're like a little bit more off ball now, but their entire careers, and when it comes down to them bringing up the ball, they're point guards, okay?
Yeah.
Luka Doncic is a point guard, folks. Clear as day. Now, they got Kyrie with him now, so now they win the 1-2 game. Luka really he's a scorer, so now he's kind of a little bit more off. It's like a dual point guard, whatever you want to call it.
A minute to go in the game. Dallas has the ball, tight game. Who has the ball at the top of the key?
Yeah, that's what I'm, okay.
Luka is the pace
before
setter.
Kyrie got there, Luka was dribbling that bitch up, okay? He's been a point guard his whole career for the most part, and so has Shai Alexander. Okay,
Yeah.
Shai Alexander's always been a point guard. So I know now, and Giddey's not really like a point guard really still. So I don't know what that is. Counting them, the best point guard in the NBA this year, people would say Shai or Luka. That's the conversation. Brunson has now emerged as another person in that conversation.
Absolutely.
He's not with those two, but the way he's playing right now, he's playing just as good as anybody.
Yeah.
He is playing better than everybody, actually.
And I got caught in the beginning of the season of the Halliburton. Because at the beginning of the year, people were like, "Is this the new age point guard? This is what it looks like." And obviously, I don't know. We still talked about it earlier. I don't know if that's fool's gold. What the real Halliburton is, beginning of the year, the end of the year, we don't know. So
yeah, I think Halliburton's a good player. He's a really good player. Who are we kidding? He's made All-Star games. You know what I mean?
Twice.
You don't do that by luck. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? To make an All-Star game, you have to have something called a body of work. So no one thinks that Tyrese Halliburton just can't play it. I just think the level of pedestal people put him on during that play-in time.
Yeah.
People were like, man, he's way better than Maxey. Man, he's way better than Brunson. Now everybody's kind of took a step back and be like, okay, hold up. He's good. He's a really good, talented player, but like these other guys are better. You know what I mean? So that's just.
Well, so leading up to this, actually, but leading up to tonight, because I know Luka played amazing tonight.
When I say other guys, there's only a few guys better than Tyrese Halliburton, by the way. Let me clear that up. I'm not putting a whole handful of guys ahead of Halliburton.
Yeah.
I'd put Brunson ahead of him. I'd put. Listen, we're gonna be honest. I'd put Luka, Shai,
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is definitely better than him still.
Okay. I'm naming
people
got to
calm the fuck down.
I'm naming guys for you.
No, I know, but someone said it the other day. Like Draymond said that. People were they're like JB or Steph. He was like, bro, I love JB. Steph has been doing what he's doing for like 12 years straight. And I know people's response first is, well, it's not about the past. No, I'm just telling you, he did it like last year. Like he's still really good.
Also, yeah, it's like to knock the champ out, you got to knock him out. You
yeah,
you got to be way better than him. You
got to be way better than him. You can't be
right.
like, bro, Steph still put up like 27 a game, dog. Like just fall back, dog.
Yeah.
Like relax. And his team's not nearly as good as New York.
And they still gave him an award this year, Clutch Player of the Year. They still
like, bro,
they give him something.
Relax, bro. Like Steph's still there. So Steph's in that conversation. Well, you got Jalen Brunson, Shai, Kyrie, Steph Curry.
And you want to throw some others: De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray, John Morant whenever he's back and ready to go. These are all these.
I'm putting all those guys ahead of Halliburton. I'm putting John Morant over Halliburton.
Jamal Murray or Halliburton?
I'm going
in a vacuum, not with Jokic. In a vacuum.
Oh,
just straight up Jamal Murray, Halliburton.
I would. If I'm starting a team, I'd rather have Halliburton.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the way Halliburton gets his team, the way they play. I think in a game 7, I'm going Jamal Murray 7 days of the week.
Right.
It's not even close.
That's because there's some different stuff that he brings to the table as far as just making 2 game winners in the first round.
Yeah, bro. And he's always done that shit. He like has big games and big moments. Like I see him take over games all the time.
Yeah.
Like Halliburton doesn't have that or hasn't shown that he hasn't. Maybe he does. We haven't seen it. In the playoffs, he's been very, very below par.
Right.
But, you're allowed to struggle. I'm not going to come hating on him. I think Halliburton's a top 10 point guard in the NBA. So that's a really good thing for people who are going to be like, he's disrespecting him. I'm telling you that I think someone is a top 10 point guard in the world. Fall back. We're getting at an age now, like if you don't give too many flowers or if you just keep it real, like people get mad at you.
People want 10 guys in the top 5, and it just doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. So like, bro, is he better than Fox? Well, if he was, then he'd be there with Sabonis instead. What are we talking about, man? Like, again, I understand Halliburton's like really good. I'm all on the Halliburton hype train. I'm with it. I just said he's a top 10 point guard in the NBA. But like, am I putting him ahead of Kyrie Irving? No, none of you guys would. You know it. You know right now if your life was on the line and a fairy came to you before the game and said, if you pick who plays better between these two and it's a game 7 in the playoffs, I'll let you live. I'm not saying it's not possible. Halliburton couldn't outplay him. I'm telling you right now, if your life is on the line, I know who you're picking. And you know, if you cannot look me in my eyes and say you're picking him over Kyrie Irving, you know you can't say you're picking him over Steph. All right? You can't say Jamal Murray. All right? You can't say, and I'm talking about game 7. You can't say Brunson, obviously, especially the way he's doing. You can't say Shai or Luka. So shit. It's like, what's that, 5, 6? And again,
also,
I haven't thrown Maxey in the mix, but I'd give Halliburton a slight edge over
Is Maxey a point guard? That's the issue.
No,
a lot of these guys, I don't know what they are. So this day and age, it's tough to call someone a point guard.
I put Halliburton over, but I really like Halliburton's game. Again, so I just like what he does for a team. A lot of his stats aren't always there, but like his presence in terms of tempo, like the pace he sets the team, like you can't really teach that stuff. So yeah, but anyways.
I wanted to tell you, so up until tonight, and Luka played really well, the playoffs have been about, you see guys like Shai stepping up and leading his team, and they're doing really well. And you see Anthony Edwards, and we talked so much about how amazing he's been, and he's looking like the face of the NBA coming up. And we talk about Brunson putting a team on his back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, up until tonight, we haven't really talked about Luka, and it's kind of like he's been taking a back seat to these guys, when normally, when we talk about the best guards in the NBA, we don't even mention Luka with those guys, because we think Luka, up until this time, is way ahead of these guys.
There's only 2 guys that have put themselves in conversation for the moment.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking in actuality, there's only 1 guy that's put himself in that conversation. Shai Alexander's done this for multiple years straight. I just think there's also levels. I think Shai is in that conversation with Luka. I do.
Okay, so when next year's NBA rankings come out, you want
if there's an NBA ranking, I don't mind Luka being ahead of Shai. All I'm saying is Shai better be close behind. He better be right there.
Yeah,
he's in the same conversation. I still think Luka's the best point guard in the NBA. I do. I just think from a talent level and the way this guy is, I think sometimes he doesn't play well due to boredom. You know what I mean? That's how good he is.
Wow.
But I think
he might be dealing with some. It looks like he's dealing with injuries in the playoffs too.
He's definitely
like everybody is too.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's definitely hobbling and moving slow. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely injured with something. But I think Luka's the best point guard in the NBA. And right after that, I'd go Shai. I think everybody else would do the same thing.